Imagine waking up one morning and every person in your village, including you, can no longer speak your own language, but all of you now fluently speak a language no one has ever heard before. This is not a myth. This actually happened. For generations, the villagers of Jurethan lived simple, quiet lives. They spoke the same language their ancestors did, a language passed down by tradition, memory, and rhythm. But on a cold morning in the late 1800s, something extraordinary happened. The village woke up to a silence that felt unfamiliar, a silence that didn't belong there. And when the silence finally broke, it shattered every understanding of culture, identity, and reality itself. Men, women, and even children began speaking in a completely different tongue, a language without written form, without historical record, and without any connection to the surrounding regions. Families could speak to each other, yet no one could explain what they were speaking or how they learned it overnight. To understand the magnitude of what happened, we must first examine the village before the event. Jurethan was small, isolated, and deeply rooted in tradition. Its 87 families farmed the land, told the same stories, practiced the same customs, and rarely interacted with outsiders. Their original language was a unique dialect spoken by only a few thousand people in the region. Life there moved slowly, predictably, and peacefully. There were no signs that anything unusual was about to occur. No strange weather, no diseases, no visitors. The day before the incident was as ordinary as any other, filled with the usual routines of farming, cooking, praying, and resting. Nothing suggested that the next sunrise would erase the village's identity. The transformation began subtly. A mother tried waking her son and noticed he responded in words she didn't recognize. Thinking he was joking, she spoke again, but he could not understand her. Instead, he spoke fluently in this strange new language. Minutes later, neighbors rushed out of their homes, confused and terrified. Everyone was speaking the same unknown language. Elderly villagers cried out, thinking they were losing their minds. Children, unaware of the gravity of the situation, used the new language naturally, as if they had spoken it their entire lives. The panic grew when some villagers tried to write what they were saying, only to discover that no one could form letters of this new tongue. It existed only in speech. No document, no history, no evidence, just pure, sudden, collective fluency. Word traveled to nearby towns, bringing scholars, priests, and curious travelers to witness the phenomenon. Every expert who visited concluded the same. The language did not match any known language family. It was not related to Indo-European, Dravidian, Sino-Tibetan, or Turkic families. It had unique syntax, unusual phonetics, and unfamiliar sounds. Linguists tried comparing it to ancient dialects, tribal languages, and long-lost scripts. Nothing matched. Meanwhile, the villagers insisted they could not remember their original tongue at all. They understood each other perfectly, but they felt disconnected from who they once were. Some described the experience as waking up inside someone else's voice. The first explanation proposed by early researchers was mass amnesia, a collective memory loss triggered by some environmental event. But this theory collapsed quickly. Memory loss doesn't remove a language and simultaneously replace it with a fully structured new one. Moreover, every villager retained memories of their lives, families, and personal details except their original language. There was no sign of trauma, disease, or toxin that could cause such selective and uniform amnesia. Another theory suspected that the village might have once spoken this mysterious language centuries ago, and the change was the result of a dormant linguistic memory resurfacing. But this too failed. Historical records and archaeological studies showed no evidence of any settlement, tribe, or migration linked to this unknown language. No folk songs, no carvings, no oral legends, nothing hinted at a forgotten ancestral tongue. Some psychologists propose that the phenomenon could be a rare form of mass psychogenic disorder, a mental event where beliefs spread so strongly that it affects behavior. But this event was different. A psychogenic event can't create a new, fully functional language with grammar, tones, structure, and fluency. The villagers could describe abstract emotions, complex ideas, and distant memories in this new tongue. That level of linguistic complexity cannot appear instantly through psychological influence alone. As rational explanations weakened, supernatural theories began to surface. Some villagers believed the language was a gift or curse from unseen forces. A few claimed they had dreams the night before, dreams of people speaking in strange voices. Others believed the change happened because the village was built on ancient land, once occupied by a forgotten civilization. But without evidence, these theories remain speculative, stories passed down through generations. Although the Jurethan event remains the most dramatic, it is not entirely isolated. In different eras, there have been rare cases of individuals suddenly speaking unknown languages after accidents, fevers, or psychological episodes, but never an entire community. The Green Children of Woolpit, the 1899 mind swap case, and isolated incidents of xenoglossy, or speaking a language one never learned, offer intriguing parallels, yet none match the scale and clarity of what happened in this village. Over the next decades, researchers continued studying the village. Surprisingly, the new language stabilized, developed subtle variations, and passed down to younger generations. It evolved as natural languages do, proving that it was not random or artificial. But the original language, the one spoken for centuries, was lost forever within a single morning. The cultural identity of an entire community vanished overnight, replaced by something no one could trace. The story of Jurethan remains one of the most unexplained linguistic mysteries in human history. A village that went to sleep speaking one language and woke up speaking another, without lessons, without influence, without reason. Scholars still debate what happened that morning, but after more than a century, no theory fully explains it. The mystery endures, leaving only one undeniable truth. Language is not just words, it is identity. And in a single sunrise, an entire community's identity changed forever.